Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to Collector's Guide. I'm often asked what I feel working with the greatest watches from the greatest brands on a daily basis, and I'm sorry to say that more often than not, I feel disappointment. So many watches, from Holy Trinity, top tier, boutique independence, they're built to a price, they're built with compromise. But what happens when the best gives its best? You get a watch built to a standard, not a price. That is the Patek Philippe 5101P, and this is the Collector's Take. Like most legends, this one is a long story. It starts in 1936. At the height of the Art Deco era, Patek Philippe launches the long, lean slung and slinky, reference 514. Tiered like the roof of the Chrysler building, like the front of the Chrysler Airflow, the interior of the great 1930s ocean liners, it was the epitome of Art Deco. Fast forward to the 1990s, and all of a sudden we are in a golden era of Patek Philippe complicated watchmaking. You get the 1989 Caliber 89, the 5016 Tourbillon minute repeater retrograde perpetual calendar. We get the 5004 in 1996 with its split-second chronograph and perpetual, and of course the Star Caliber 2000. Enter the manta ray of the millennial year. It introduces the 2820 REC 10J-PS. That's an alphabet soup that basically says it's a 10-day rectangular movement. 2003, enter the 5101. A rebirth of the 514 case shape, it relaunches Art Deco in the modern era, but with a twist. This one is a chronometer tourbillon. If you've ever wondered why Patek Philippe doesn't participate in the GPHG, it's because back in 2003, this thing won the Aiguille. It walked away with the best prize. It walked away with Best Picture at the Oscars of Watchmaking. When you've won it all, what else do you have to prove? If looks could kill, James Bond would wear this and not an Omega. The 5101 is long, lean, thin at only 12.5 millimeters thick, and it achieves that rare feat in metallurgy of creating the impression of tension in a solid static body. This is the ultimate salmon dial. I know we love them, even better when garnished with blackened white gold Breguet numerals, but really, this is less like salmon and more like giant bluefin tuna at Tsukiji fish market prices. Super premium. Turn it all over. Well, here's where the action is. We have a tourbillon on the caseback, and the truth is, this was every Patek Philippe tourbillon until the 5303 of 2020. It's like a Swiss bank account, only you know. Art Deco style, you can see it. Although 1925 was year one, the Exposition des Arts Décoratifs, by the 1930s the style was well developed. The image of the 514 has proved to be ageless, and it carries on here. This is a watch that's got quite a bit of engineering cred, but even if you stop at the dial, it's got heart-stopping arrestment about it. 10 days. A lot of folks ask me, why do Patek Philippe watches have such short power reserves? And my answer is, they don't all. This is both a power-intensive tourbillon and a 10-day, courtesy of twin mainspring barrels in series, which, you guessed it, means it's also an outstanding timekeeper. This is a fully certified COSC Swiss chronometer, and take a quick look, Geneva hallmark. Also, the finish. Well, two things, finish and architecture. Finish is decoration. Architecture, as with Art Deco, is the size, shape, and relation of the pieces relative to each other. You have an enormous monobridge for the twin barrels. Look at all the pivot jewels. They're set in golden chaton cups. We have a symmetrical, black-polished steel tourbillon bridge, bevels a mile wide, and you can see that we have interior angles. Look at the screw heads, black-polished and chamfered internally through their slots and around their circumference. Everything the best that money can buy. But wait, there's more. This movement, the 2820 REC, is both rectangular and properly sized for the case, the mark of a true manufacturer. If there were pirates on Lake Geneva, they would approve of this treasure chest. It's a box in a box. Take a quick look. Beautifully monogrammed with the shape of a complication on the exterior. On the inside, varnished zebrano wood thickly lacquered with polished metal hardware. And look at this leather folio. Library of Congress quality. Open it up. Studio shots, beauty shots, so you know exactly what you bought. Tech specs of the watch, you can see there's a little bit of care and feeding instructions, and then a full chronometer card. Most chronometer watches don't come with the full timing tag. This is exhaustive. Everything a watchmaking engineer or historic regulator would want to know. And by the way, the results are stupendous. Take a look. When you pay big bucks for your Patek Philippe Tourbillon, the president signs in his original hand. That is ink. Big, broad wrists. Let me explain. A non-round watch fits differently. You need to think of this as a 44mm, maybe a 43mm round watch, not 29.6 wide, which it is. The fit is Royal Oak offshore. By the way, you're looking at Sean's wrist, and he's 17¾ centimeters circumference. This is a watch that is fairly slim and long. It's low slung at under 13mm. It'll float beneath your cuff with effortless grace. Auctioneers, step to the plate. This watch was practically designed to grace the cover of your catalogs and generate interest in your event. Anybody who can afford the best. If you want it and you can pay the price, this is it. Look no further. Ironically, it's for people who don't seek approval. Yes, it's a Patek, and yes, it's very expensive, but it's not a Nautilus, nor is it instantly recognizable to the layman. It's not a star on social media. Plus, you can buy a Tourbillon for under $10,000 that's a hell of a lot more visible than this. This is a watch for the connoisseur and only the connoisseur. Well, frankly, if you want to pay a lot less money, the 2008 debut model Gondolo 5124G gives you a Patek Gondolo option, similar in shape, similar in size, with a salmon dial, blackened Breguet Arabic numerals, leaf hands to match, and for $20,000, you're going to save $150,000 versus a Platinum 5101. Or cross the border into Deutschland. A Lange und Söhne and the Cabaret Tourbillon offer a lot of the same quality. For $140,000, you're getting a power reserve, you're getting a dial side tourbillon, you're getting a date, and its party favor, a hacking tourbillon regulator. Also, check out the Lang und Heine Anton, super low volume out of Dresden, a 2018 debut. It does wear larger than the Patek and it's heavier, but it's got the dial side torb that a lot of folks crave. It has a shorter power reserve, but it is the qualitative equal in every way, right down to finish and architecture. It may even outdo the Patek on the caseback facet. Finally, Jaeger LeCoultre. If you like the caseback tourbillon, but you want the option of seeing it on the dial side, the Reverso is the answer. Made in 500 pieces in platinum in 2003, the Platinum No. 2 tourbillon can be scored for $60,000 to $70,000 today. The dial is made of white gold, the movement is made of white gold, and because it rotates, it's your choice. Double your fun with the tourbillon on the dial or the caseback. One definition of greatness is that greatness must influence greatness. When I interviewed Recep Regepi at Dubai Watch Week, I asked him what was the source of his standard, his uncompromising sensibility. Well, during his internship at Patek Philippe, one watch stood out, the one on this table. That is the definition of greatness, and that is the collector's take.